Okay, against my better judgment. I don't typically talk about this stuff on my YouTube personal YouTube channel. I'm not really a YouTube creator or anything like that. Um, but the channel's been around for a long time, hundreds of videos. But I've never tried to make anything of it. Put it that way. And when I do a video about Thailand, I try to make it like something that's cool about Thailand or nice about Thailand. But yesterday, I was looking at something else actually, and I see this video about the this low season. So Thailand has high season is about November, some like USA Thanksgiving, like holiday season, up until about April or so, because the weather is idyllic here. So it's tropical and sunny, not much rain, hardly ever, and it's rather cool at night. It cools down at night nicely, and the humidity is less. And then you have the rainy season, and that varies in Thailand. I used to live in Phuket, and the rainy season is atrocious. I live in Pattaya now, and I'm like, what rainy season? Because in my mind, I compare it to Phuket, living there 2 years, where sometimes it'll rain for days at a time, and drizzle and stuff. Um, anyway, so I read these posts about. I go one, and then it recommends others. So it's like every Pattaya YouTube creator out there, Pattaya Thailand is doing videos about the how this there was this big boost after COVID, and and then this year seems to be pretty bad. I've heard it from lots of independent sources. I have friends out there like go-go girls and bar girls and everything that I go and buy a drink and sit and chat for a while. I have a steady, so I just go out and chat for a while. So, but I was here during all of COVID. I've been here since January of 2020, with only 2 weeks away, really, in all that 5.5 years, and uh, and I also had many friends during the time I lived here. I lived in Isan, rural. I lived in Phuket, southern tip, Rawai. So I've lived around, and I saw how COVID was. But here's the thing: I first came here as a young man. I was 25 years old, and I came here a lot of times between, let's say, 25 and 31, 32, something like that. Mostly Pattaya, a little bit Phuket, some Bangkok. Um, and so when I came back right before COVID in January 2020, I just did as I always did. I went out to bars and, made my liaisons that way. And then COVID happened, and there was all that for 2, 3 years. So to get to my point, what I saw in all of these videos with the low season is two primary things. One, they've priced themselves out of the market, and that's you know, uh, people who know Pattaya, you know, I think of it as walking street is for tourists. I go there sometimes. But for the people who live here, you got the Bukau area, you got the Nikoley area, you got the Pradamnak area. I live Pradamnak Hill with a view of all of Pattaya Bay from my condo from the 17th floor, which is very. It's the best thing. The best thing to start your day: coffee and that view, and if you smoke. So if you So, how do I get to my point here? Is that the real cause isn't really the money grubbing for tourists. It's part of it, but it's not the whole story. All of the Indians and the Indian clubs is part of the story. It's not the whole story. The elephant in the room for me was COVID, because it forced all of the girls to figure out how to do business without the bars. How did they do it? Apps, online apps, which you have Tinder, and but the big one, the big one, especially here in Pattaya, is Thai friendly. It's like no other. Now think of it from the perspective of the girl. Think of it perspective of the man. So you're bored, lonely, whatever, or you're horny, whatever. You want to hook up. Yeah, you can try the Tinder. The Thai friendly makes it very even if you're not paid, even if you're not a paid member, you can still easily go there, scan, strike up a convo, and they're at your room in an hour and a half. There's no drinks cost. There's no bar fines. She pays her own way to get to your room. And then the only part of the transaction is you and her. And also, if she's selective, and if you're selective, that can become a regular thing. 1, 2, 3 times a week. Just a couple of hours, all that, whatever you want. And so that's from your perspective. Now, from her perspective, if you talk to a lot of these girls over years and years, or decades in my case, and back in the 80s, girls did, they come from rural, they barely speak English, they don't know anything about business, and then they learn while learning English too, but they still have to deal with a bar owner. They have to deal with Mama-san. They have to deal with all the other girls in the place of which there's competition, right? They have to show up for work at a time every day, and they go home, unless they get a bar fine, and then they can go out with you for however, whether you pay it for just one night or for many days. And so that's a load on them. With Thai friendly, they can sit in their room, watching whatever they watch, eating whenever they want, and just go on their app, and they can go out. And I did not start doing that until pretty much I moved from. I did a little bit here and there. But when I came back to Pattaya at the end of, when was it? Yeah, beginning of 2023 from Phuket, that's when I began to start using it. And from my perspective, I still like beer bars. I like to go to Bukau. I like to sit there and strike up conversations, especially with other expats like myself. And have a conversation with a gal. Even if somebody you don't want to take them home. You just want to have buy them a drink or two and have a convo, something like that. I still do that. I like to do that. And I'll go to Walking Street typically very late, or sometimes even like very early, by which I mean like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. More like 2, something like that. So you and go to a go-go bar just to watch, because the big go-go bars on Walking Street really command some big talent in terms of looks. Do you want to take them home? No. The answer is no. But can be fun. And it can be fun. It's great eye candy. right? So anyway, I think I've said it all. What this is all about is that you have many factors which have created a very different space, at least here in Pattaya. And you know, Pattaya is the superstar in terms of this kind of thing. So, um, so I'll give you an example. If I go on Thai Friendly and I set my age parameters appropriately, 24/7, there are at least dozens to a few hundred gals online. And if I do a general thing, like, okay, how many gals are like, let's say 18 to 45? It's up in the, it's over 10,000, 10, 15,000. So I think that this signals to me that the entire landscape is changing. And what I told you is that there is benefit to this to both the guys and the gals. And they're kind of cutting out the middleman, if you know what I mean. All right.